If you're not publishing like a bestseller, I'm not sure what you are doing. You're certainly not here with me. Well, I know this entry is kind of bad. I didn't know what to say, but I'm going to keep it. Let's get the ball rolling. Howdy, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, and people from all over the world. This is going to be a fantastic video. I'm going to explain the right mindset that you should have so you can publish extremely profitable Kindle publishing books on Amazon and make money rain on top of you like there's no tomorrow. My name is Jordan Laxo, and if you still haven't liked this video, go right below, click on that thumbs up, and also make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can receive more of this type of videos on a weekly basis where I share with you a shit ton of Kindle publishing tips and several ways for you to make money online. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's talk about the mindset you should have so you can do a lot of money with Kindle publishing books, because this has been one of the major changes that I have done to my business quite recently, honestly. Okay, let's talk about how I used to actually do business when it comes to Amazon. A few months ago, before this international crisis, let's call that, so I can give names, because otherwise, you know, YouTube is now a huge censorship mega piece of crap, and they censor everything, so I need to be careful with the words I use. Before all of this, the way that I used to publish books was very different than the way that I publish nowadays. I'm going to talk about 5 things that I've changed during this process, because about 9 months ago or 8 months ago, I was publishing about 7 to 8 books in a single month. Okay, and this was mostly books related. It was mostly cookbooks, diet cookbooks that I was publishing back in the days, back a few months ago. And it reaches a point where I was publishing so many books at once or in a single month that it reaches a point where you're just not paying much attention to the quality of your books, because you simply don't have time to pay attention and basically try to produce quality books to put on Amazon, and where your readers can purchase them and really enjoy your content. Because I mean, once you reach like six books and beyond, it's really hard for you to put that amount of attention to each single book. And I was publishing a lot of books on a single month, and most of these books had like 16,000 words. So when it comes to cookbooks, you can easily get away with that amount of words. But the problem was they weren't exactly that high quality. And prior to all of this, once I started actually publishing more and more books, it was when my business started actually suffering the effects of publishing kind of low quality books. Okay, and although I used to pay attention to the cover of my book and to the title, but when it came to the content, it wasn't exactly the best possible. Now, I'm not saying that publishing huge quantities of books doesn't work and you can't make money that way, but I don't recommend for you to do it, because first it has to do with how it makes you feel about yourself. I mean, back in the days, I felt like I wasn't offering much to the readers that got my books, and sometimes I would get actually negative reviews because people read my book and found them to be a piece of crap. Okay, so it didn't really make me feel that good about myself. So I decided during the past few months to kind of change the way that I was doing business on Amazon. And I actually stopped publishing for a few months because I took several courses related to Kindle publishing. I tried to kind of relearn all about Kindle publishing and kind of change the way that I was doing things. And nowadays, the way that I publish books is I try to publish a book as that book was going to be a bestseller. And when you have this mindset of trying to publish a book that is going to be a bestseller, you really pay attention to all of the little details in your book, and you try your best to publish a book that is going to be high quality. Now, if that book is going to make you a huge amount of money or not, it really depends a lot on a few factors, especially on the main keyword that you chose for your book. So let's talk about all of these things that I changed. This is about 5 things that I've changed when it comes to my books. The first one is simply keywords, okay? Back in the days, I was publishing so many books although all of those books were diet cookbooks mostly, they were all kind of related in terms of keywords, but it got to a point where I wasn't paying much attention to whether if a keyword was way too competitive for me. Yes, I saw that keywords were profitable, but I really didn't pay much attention to the competition of my keywords. And a lot of times what happened was I published a book on a keyword that was just way too competitive. Although my book, once I published, it was still receiving the boost that Amazon gives to new books inside of their platform, and it would rank organically well for a month or so, and then it would just kind of drop and be completely forgotten. And that was because I wasn't paying attention to the competition of those keywords. I usually would publish books on keywords that were just way too competitive, and by this I mean that these keywords had just way too many authors competing with me, and I'm a publisher, I'm not an author. Now actually I'm going just to show over here a keyword. As a publisher, I mean, you're not an author. An author who is in their niche, they typically have several things that you don't have. For example, they may have a blog, they may have a YouTube channel, they may have huge freaking big pockets full of money, just, and they can just put advertisement everywhere to promote their books, and possibly that is not something that you can do. And usually you can see that it's an author when you check the reviews and you see a huge amount of reviews. Typically over, I would say 80 to 90 reviews. Over that amount of reviews, typically it is a book that belongs to an author. And as a publisher, you probably can get like 20, 30, 40 reviews, and it's hard for you to get more reviews than that. Not saying it's impossible, but it's hard. And actually I already produced a few videos explaining the keyword strategies that I use nowadays, because I have changed a lot. One of the things I've noticed in this past few months is I would say kind of the basic keyword strategies that I was using to find profitable keywords on Amazon. They weren't being that effective. And the reason for this is there's just a lot more competition than back in the days when I started publishing books. And it's harder now compared to a few years for you to find keywords that are profitable and that have a fair amount of competition that you can get in and kind of beat your competition. It's getting really hard for you to do that. And for that reason, I decided to actually get a course about just about keywords, and it's this course. I always forget the name of this course, but it's a very good course. I actually mentioned this course previously, but I always forget the name. Rapid Publishing Keywords. Okay, that's the name of this course. I already watched the full course. I even shared a few of the strategies on my other videos, which I'm going to also mention. You can click on that small I if you want to learn more about keyword research and several strategies that I use to find a lot of keywords and also to kind of get extremely profitable keywords. And actually I took this course. I already watched all of the videos, as you may see, and I've learned a lot with this course when it comes to keyword research, okay? Because I'm telling you, the basic strategies that I was using back a few months ago, it just wasn't working for me. I'm telling you, I was spending like a whole month and I wasn't being able to find just a single keyword that was competitive, not too competitive, and still profitable, and I was struggling a lot. Now this course helped me kind of learn new strategies in order for me to be able to do this process a lot easier. And when it comes to keywords, nowadays I just spend a lot more time trying to find keywords that kind of fits in the criteria that I want. And as I already explained, the criteria that I want is keywords that are profitable, and that have a fair amount of competition, but not way too much competition that if I publish a book, it just won't have a huge effect and won't appear on the front page of results and so on. So this course actually helped me a lot. So what I'm saying is, spend time learning new strategies for you to find keywords on Amazon. And if you need to spend a whole week just kind of going around trying to find keywords that are really good, then just spend a whole week doing that. Don't rush this process, because it really all starts from this part, okay? If you have a bad keyword, it doesn't matter all of the rest that I'm going to mention next, because what you want is to find a keyword that you kind of know that if you get in and if you do a good job, there's a high probability that your book is going to be profitable, because you simply don't want to get to a keyword that is kind of, or either it's really profitable but it's the competition is just going to crush you. You don't want to get into those keywords, because I mean then you're wasting money on getting books and time on getting books that simply won't make it. So it really all starts with having good strategies to find keywords that kind of fits that criteria that I already spoke about. So spend time searching for really good keywords that you kind of feel like you have a good chance of competing with those books and doing a shit ton of money if you actually succeed. And I'm telling you, I spent a lot of time trying to find good keywords. And actually this month I already ordered 2 books. Now I'm going to see how those books actually do it on Amazon. And then based on those books, I will start publishing more books under, basically just do a series of books for that kind of niche that I'm getting into. Because I've kind of changed to a new niche. I'm no longer so much in the cookbook diet niche. It's a good niche, but I kind of have been struggling with that niche nowadays. One, it's just way more competitive nowadays, and the second part is it seems like people aren't paying so much attention to diets with all of the things going around. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about is content. Okay, so once you have a really good keyword, you found like 3-4 keywords that are really good, what you want is to focus on your content. Okay, you want to have excellent content in your book. Now, there are 2 factors when it comes to this. The first one is your outline, and I'm going to go more in detail about that. I already did videos about this, and I went more in detail about this in other videos, but I'm just going to give you some brief tips about this. The second thing is the team of writers that you have. Okay, the team of writers I use nowadays is the urban writers. I used to use another team of writers in the past. They were cheaper than urban writers, and a lot of people typically they want to go for the cheapest company out there, but this is one of those things that you kind of pay for what you get, okay? And yes, you may spend like less $100 on a book from another company, but then the content is just simply crap. And if you publish that book on Amazon, sooner or later you'll get a bunch of reviews, negative reviews, 1-star reviews, 2-star reviews, and it's basically game over from there. So I prefer just to pay a bit more than I used to pay back in the days to get writers that are decent and that do a really good job once they have a good outline. And for that reason, I use nowadays the urban writers. I've been using this company. They're very professional, and once you provide a good outline, then the writers over here do a pretty good job. Even if you just use the over here on book services, even if you just use the writing packages, even if you just use the first one over here, they do a fairly good job. As you can see, you have 4 different packages that you can get depending on the type of writers that you want. Of course, the most expensive one is for writers that are more expert on, well, writing, of course. So this is one of the things that is extremely important. The other thing that is important, and this is vital, is having a great, excellent, high quality outline. It's extremely important. Once you have a keyword, let's say yoga. Let's say that yoga is your keyword. Of course, I don't recommend for you to publish more yoga books because everyone is already doing that. But let's say that you found the yoga is extremely profitable and you want to publish a book over here. Don't rush your outline. I sometimes take 1 day, 2 days just to write an outline. And my outlines typically have like 800 to 1,000 words, the outline. It's basically a post explaining in detail what I want when it comes to the content of my book. Sometimes I even provide the table of content for my book to my team of writers. I explain in detail everything. Sometimes I even provide the sources where my writers can get the information, because I know if they go to that sources of information, they get really high quality information for my books. And I spend a lot of time writing my outlines because this is extremely important. A lot of times people complain about the writers that they do a bad job and so on, but many times the publishers forget about what they actually did. And when it comes to their outline, many times they get lazy. They provide an outline with just 5 bulletin points and then expect to have a great book. It doesn't work that way. I mean, if you're lazy, then your writers are also going to be lazy. Now, if you provide a great high quality outline explaining exactly what you want on your book, and for you to know this, you kind of need to research what your readers want when it comes to your title. Okay, so if it's about yoga, what you want to do is you want to go over here to the reviews of this book, and I already explained this more in detail on other videos. And you kind of want to go from 2-star reviews, 3-star reviews, 4-star reviews, 5-star reviews, and notifying what your readers are looking for, what they didn't like about this book, okay, what they like about this book. And you want to write on a notepad exactly all of those little things that you found. You want to make your research and see what readers are seeking when it comes to a yoga book. The other thing that I like also to do is simply open the book, go to the table of content, and see the several points mentioned over here. Sometimes I also like to go over here to YouTube, okay, to YouTube. And I can go sometimes to, let's say, yoga, and I go over here to several videos that are doing pretty well. Like this one has 1 million views. And I read the comments, and sometimes you may also get several ideas of things that you may include on your yoga book. Sometimes people mention the problems that they have with yoga. Probably they can't do some exercises because they lack flexibility, and they ask questions about other alternative exercises that they can do because of their lack of flexibility. And you can find all of those little things on YouTube, and especially on the reviews from other books. So what you want to do is write a detailed outline explaining exactly how you want your book. Do your best, because if you do your best and you're not lazy with this and you take your time, and as I said, this may take like 1 day or a few hours, even 5 hours of your time just researching, just seeing what your readers want, what they felt that they lacked on other books. And basically what you want to do is try to provide a book that kind of answers the concerns that your readers had with other books, and try to have a book that is even better than your competition. Because what you want to do is you want to enter into that specific title or keyword and you want to crush it. Okay, so that is another thing that I try to do nowadays. And in the past, I didn't do this. Okay, I used to I used to do like an outline with 100 words, and it was a pretty crappy outline. Okay, nowadays I pay a lot more attention to my outlines, and the content of my books has become a lot better, because I mean the writers just know exactly what they need to do. And yes, sometimes I even provide several sources, several videos, several channels where my writers can get more information about what I want in my outline. I mean, the other thing is about covers. Okay, so you spend all of this time, energy doing an outline. You go over here to this ghostwriter team, and you probably, nowadays most of my books have like 30,000 words. Okay, you can get away with shorter books. I'm not saying that you need to do exactly 30,000 words, but I found at least for most topics, 30,000 words is about 200 pages, a bit less, a bit more, depending on how you display the content of your book. And I found that for nonfiction, it's kind of the right length, because it provides a fair amount of content for your readers. And also when you actually pass these books to audio, it kind of makes your books be more expensive because of ACX, how ACX works when it comes to that, because of the amount of time that your books have. So nowadays I try to do books in most cases with 30,000 words, only if it's like probably cookbooks, but I haven't actually. I kind of still recently got a cookbook, and it was 30,000 words. So even for cookbooks, I no longer do shorter books as I used to do. I'm not saying that they don't work, like with 16,000 words. It still works. It kind of depends how you do stuff. But I just provide. Prefer to provide lengthier books. And a book with 30,000 words, if you choose the first package, it's about $600. Now, just to say that you waste all of this time doing an outline that is good. You waste all of this. You waste your money getting a book with this length, and then you just don't invest on getting a high quality cover. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so your book cover needs to be top notch. Because once again, you are a publisher. You're not an author. Sometimes authors have like a really bad cover, and they still get away because they already have an audience following their content, and they can still sell their book. But as a publisher, you have to have everything just top notch, and your cover is essential. You can either go to Fiverr, although in Fiverr, typically in Fiverr, you can find that, I mean, some gigs are kind of decent. I prefer to go over here to Urban Writers. They actually have a service over here where you can ask for them to do a cover for your book, and they do a pretty good job. It's kind of, I would say, it's kind of a bit more expensive compared to Fiverr, of course, but you get a high quality cover, and your cover is essential because the cover basically sells your book. Okay, people eat with their eyes, and if they see a cover that looks fantastic, they simply want to get your book. Now, if you have a bad cover, it doesn't make sense after you just spend your money in getting content for your book and all those things. So make sure to pay attention to the cover of your book. Of course, if you have good skills with Photoshop, if you already done covers in the past, then you can try to do your own cover. Just make sure that it's really high quality, top notch. Otherwise, don't do it. Even myself, I have a lot of experience with Photoshop. I've done covers in the past for my cookbooks. I've done a lot of covers, like 20 covers for my books. or 25 or something like that. I have like 40 books or something like that at the moment. So I've done a lot of covers for my books, but I stopped doing them because why do that? I mean, this guys over here on Urban Writers just do a better job than me. So it doesn't make sense. I'm trying to do my own covers just to save a few bucks. I prefer to get someone over here. They do an excellent job. And also, I don't waste time. I mean, I used to waste like, sometimes it was like a whole day or more just trying to do covers. And imagine that when I was like publishing 6 books or 8 books each month, it was just, I mean, I spent my whole day just doing covers, and it was, and it gets to a point where you're just so tired of doing covers that you're really not paying much attention to the quality of your covers. So nowadays, I just prefer to hire someone to do the covers for me. They do a better job than I, and your cover is something that you just try to get the best cover for your books possible, because that really makes your book sell. The other thing is really about the title of your book and also the description of your book. This is something that a lot of people, and this is the last point that I want to talk about, but a lot of people really don't pay much attention to the title of their book and also to the description of their book. And these are 2 ingredients that you also want to have top notch. Okay, so you want to have great content, a great cover, a title that is really enticing and that makes your book sell well, and also a description that helps your book sell. Because one of the things that people do, especially when it comes to description, I mean, if people go over here to Amazon and they see the book, they search for yoga and they found your book over here listed, many times people see the cover. If it has a good title, they simply go over here and click and purchase your book. But the thing is, you want to also use Amazon advertisement to promote your book and sell your book even more. You kind of want to use everything that you have at your disposal to magnify the number of sales that your book can potentially do. And Amazon advertisement is one of those ways. And a lot of people, when they actually see advertisement, let's say that they go for something similar to yoga, let's say meditation, and they kind of see your book over here being advertised. They click on your book. Let's say that this is a yoga book. They click on your book and they are kind of curious. They saw a good cover. They found the title kind of interesting, and they read the description of your book many times, especially people who find your book through advertisement. That is the reason why you should have a description that is top notch. Now, if you don't have copywriting skills, okay, great. You can, once again, you can go to Urban Writers and you can get the description over here done. I never tried their service when it comes to this, so I can't promise you anything. When it comes to this, I just prefer to go to Fiverr and get over here someone on book description. You can hire over here someone to do the description for your book, and also for that person to find a title that is something that is going to entice people to purchase your book. So you can use these services for this, and you can try several services over here. But over here you can actually find people doing a pretty good job, because I already tried a few of these gigs and they actually got a pretty good headline for my book and also description, which helped my book sell better on Amazon. Once again, this is something that I don't recommend, because once you go to Urban Writers, and once again, I'm not sure about this, but I already tried with other companies on the past, where when I actually order my book, I ask them to write a description. And what typically they do, the writers, is that they send a description that is basically a review of your book, basically just a brief explanation about the content within your book. And that is not exactly what you want when it comes to your description. What you want for your description is something that is enticing, that is going to help your book sell better on Amazon. Typically, this is going to be a description that has an enticing headline over here that entices people to read the rest of your description, it will have a few bulletin points explaining the main benefits of that your reader getting your book. We'll have something over here to kind of take some doubts that you're, after the bulletin points, have a few lines over here just to take some doubts of your reader's mind. Probably they are concerned about the content of your book being too hard for them to understand or something like that, and you kind of need to explain over here a few aspects that will take those doubts from their mind. And then lastly, it should have a call to action. And briefly, that is what a good description should look like. And when it comes to this, you can actually go to Fiverr. Okay, so those are the few things that I wanted to talk about. And basically what I'm saying over here on this video is for you to pay attention to every single detail on your book. You want to make each book count, okay? You just don't want to go out there, or at least I don't recommend for you to go out there and just play the numbers game. I'm not saying that that doesn't work, but on the long term, what happens is your business will collapse if you just go out there and just publish a huge amount of books each month, don't pay attention to the quality of your content and so on. Your business sooner or later will collapse. It is better for you to publish less books, let's say 2-3 books each month or 4 books each month maximum. At least for me, maximum is 4 books each month. And just pay attention to all of the details I explained throughout this video. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any question, just leave it right below, or some comment or something like that. Just leave it right below. I try to reply to you as soon as possible. Once again, make sure to just put a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you still haven't done it. That is all for now. Stay tuned with Jordan Alexo, and bye.